So you want to use Pinterest marketing to grow your business and grow an audience on a new platform. You want to branch out from Meta, from Instagram. Maybe you're sick of the Reels doom creation like me. Well, if you are, I have some really good news. Pinterest is actually a really great platform for search-based traffic and engagement. Now, we're going to get into the aspects of the search engine that Pinterest is a little later in this video, but I just wanted to assure you that if you are looking for an SEO-based platform, you're sick of all the others, and you're ready to try something new, you are in the right place. Now, I create a video similar to this every single year, and I always update it with the New Year's strategies. So if you're not new here, if you are a returning viewer, you've probably seen a video similar to this. Please stick around because there are changes in the strategy for 2024. If you are new and this is your first time seeing me, hi, hello. My name is Farris, and for the last 8 years, I have been running and operating a Pinterest marketing agency. In the last 4 or 5, give or take, I can't remember exactly when I started educating on the topic of Pinterest marketing. That means in a monthly membership and right here on this YouTube channel, I teach people just like you how to use Pinterest to the best of your ability, efficiently, sustainably, and without the hustle culture attached. So if that sounds kind of like your values, if that sounds like what you want for this year, then welcome. Pull up a seat and let's get started. So today we're going to dive into the 3 most important things when it comes to piecing together your Pinterest marketing strategy. Within those 3 important things are lots of other things. I have so many examples for you in this year's video. Following feedback from last year's variation, we're going to give you all of the back-end insights of what things look like and how to actually visualize what I'm talking about as we roll through the video. So stay tuned for that. Super exciting editing update for this year. So the 3 important things, let's actually, before we get started with that, let's get started with the fact that number 1, Pinterest is a search engine, not so much social media. It does have a 2-sided algorithm where there is an engagement side of the algorithm and there's also a search side. So you can post pins and they will get reached and they can go far and wide before they're ever indexed in search. And that is really solely based on engagement signals on the platform. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of that later on in the video, but I did just want to let you know that with Pinterest being a search-based platform, if you are looking to utilize your Google SEO strategy or you're looking to break into a new SEO market, this platform is a really great one to get started on. What is Pinterest and how does it help you grow? Well, obviously, if you didn't already know this, Pinterest is a search engine. I'm gonna mention that again lots of times. So grab a drink and let's drink together every time I say that today. But it is a place where you can connect with your ideal audience in the time that they are looking for you, which is really great. You're not relying on TikTok trends or anything like that to come up and having to always be aware of those. Pinterest trends actually allows you, and we're going to talk about this briefly in a moment, it allows you to look at the trends that are coming up and you can plan based on those. So that is one way or a couple of ways that Pinterest can actually help your brand. Now, before we get started, there are 3 things that I actually want to talk about. And thing number 1 is that Pinterest is not a sloppy seconds platform. Now, a few fun facts about Pinterest. Number 1, we just crested in Q3 of 2023 when I'm filming. I'm actually in Q4 right now. We just crested 482 monthly active users worldwide. That is actually higher than our previous highest monthly active users, which was Q1 of 2021 when we were in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. When people were at home, they hadn't quite gone back to work yet. We have beat that and now we are continuing to move forward. I do credit a lot of our growth to the new Pinterest CEO, Bill Reedy. I think that's how you say his name. He's a former e-commerce chair of some sort from Google, and he's brought a lot of fresh ideas to our platform. And with that, I'm super excited. Number 2, Pinterest is a full funnel marketing platform, which means Pinterest is a place that people go to search for things from the beginning of their customer journey all the way through to the end. You've seen the product pins on Pinterest. I've seen the product pins on Pinterest. That is the more lower end part of the full funnel. The top end is where the majority of all Pinterest pins have historically been hanging out. The awareness phase of a customer journey is things like, the best fall and winter wear for 2024, stuff like that. People are looking, they aren't quite sure what they want yet, but they're looking for things that are going to spark their interest. Another fun fact, Pinterest pinners spend 80% more with Pinterest on Pinterest than they do on other platforms, which means there is a lot of opportunity for you to make sales on this platform if you do it right. Next up is Pinterest pinners are typically the decision makers in their homes. How much would it mean to your business if you were able to get in front of the decision maker that makes the ultimate final call on the thing that you need done or the product that you sell in your business? I know getting in front of the decision makers as a service provider is a lot easier, but that is not as easy when it comes to the other categories that are on Pinterest, like fashion and, kids stuff, anything related to kids, anything related to husbands. Pinterest is definitely by far the easiest way to get in front of those decision makers. And our last fun fact is that Pinterest actually predicts trends for the following year every single year. And every single year, they actually hit an 80% or higher correct prediction rate. So Pinterest is not only setting trends, but it's predicting them as well, and they are coming true. So if you definitely want to get in on a platform like Pinterest where the trend prediction actually happens and you can get in on those trends using our favorite tool, Pinterest Trends, for free, by the way, because it is a free business tool, then you're in the right place. Thing number 2, before you ever get started with your Pinterest marketing strategy, and yes, I mean before you just start pinning things willy-nilly to this platform, you really need to figure out who your ideal customer is and how they are behaving on Pinterest. Now, the number one way that you do this is by developing a keyword strategy for this platform. Before you ever actually go and look for keywords on Pinterest, the very first thing you need to figure out is about your ideal customer and what they are asking, what they're doing, what they're searching for. So just really quick, a few of the questions I always ask myself when I am working with a client or a student is, what are the most common questions that your people ask you? I always get questions like, how do I use Pinterest for X, Y, and Z? That question right there should go into your content library, and then that should also be a keyword that you can use on this platform. So if people are asking you like how to style black leather pants, then that is going to be a keyword that you can search for and utilize in your content to connect with your ideal customer. So I always start with the questions I get asked all the time. I also go over the products and services that I offer and write down search terms I think people are using for those, as well as the products and services I sell. And I write down, questions or keywords that I think people would be searching for those. Now, I have done something for you already, so don't leave my video just yet. You can put a pin in it and come back to it later. But I made a full Pinterest SEO masterclass for you, and I'm going to link it in the description down below that you can actually watch, and I'm going to walk you through the full development of finding and creating a Pinterest keyword strategy. Now, stop. If you have enjoyed this video so far, can you do me a huge favor and give it a big thumbs up? Give it a like because it's going to help me to reach more people like you. Thing number 3 is to set yourself up for success by understanding all of the aspects of the Pinterest marketing strategy and how they fit together. Now, as I lay out in my free Pinterest strategy guide, I talk about all of the pillars of a Pinterest strategy. So let's actually just start at the top of what is included in a Pinterest marketing strategy. Now, number 1 is an optimized profile. I'm actually going to dive deeper into the optimized profile in a few moments, but number 2 is your image strategy. Now, you should be creating Pinterest pins or Pinterest images along that customer journey I had already mentioned before. So the awareness, consideration, and purchase phase of the journey. Now we're gonna throw up some images on the screen of what that actually looks like. And we basically create pins for Pinterest pinners for each phase of their journey. So when they're searching for something at the very beginning, like tie-dye t-shirts, they're not quite sure what they want just yet, but they may be looking for just like tie-dye clothing or tie-dye t-shirts. And this is what comes up. The next pin that comes up is for consideration, and that's stuff like date night outfit ideas. They already are aware that they want to go on a date night. They need outfit ideas, but they're not quite sure what outfits they want to wear. So that kind of lands them somewhere in the middle, and that's what we call consideration. And the last pin is for purchased. You can see that the call to action is very strong. It features a very specific product. And this would be if someone were actually looking more specifically for that brand or more specifically for that type of product. So like joggers for women. They know that they want that product. Maybe they just don't know in the purchase phase exactly who they want to buy from just yet. So you can see what that looks like in this pin. Now, for more information on how to create different Pinterest pin types for your Pinterest strategy, you should definitely check out our video on that exact topic, 3 different Pinterest pins to test in your Pinterest marketing strategy. That video is going to go into detail into what we're actually going to talk about next, which is your creative strategy. So your actual image strategy and the reasons why you're creating the different pin types. First being your Pinterest pin types, which I equate to being your format. And then the second being your Pinterest pin style, which I more equate to the content of the pin, because you can make static pins that are awareness, you can make static pins that are product, you can even make static pins that are like infographics or whatever. So that's like the different types. So a standard or a static image, as I refer to it across all of my content, is simply just an image pin. Now that image pin can have no text or text, and you can use that image pins to create for each phase of the buyer journey. The next is a video pin. Same deal, you can create across the buyer journeys with videos, and these are going to showcase products or services or whatever other education. Now I have some examples I want to show you, but I want to actually quickly touch on the infographic pins, which is the third format type. The content in it also can vary. So here are 2 examples of video pins. The first example of a video pin is actually my own content. And you can see that this is a lot of face to camera type content. It's actually YouTube videos that I've taken and repurposed over to Pinterest. Fun fact, my YouTube shorts and TikTok videos, when I put them on Pinterest, they actually get a lot more views, saves, and outbound clicks on Pinterest than they do elsewhere. Now, the second example of video pins is not necessarily specific video pins I want to show you, but I actually want to show you how to find video pins so you can go and do this research on your own. The first thing you're going to do is pop a search term in the search bar, so like cute bridesmaid gifts, and then you're going to go to the filter in the top left-hand corner. Pinterest is always subject to change, so these instructions may quickly become out of date with their updates. This is where it's at for now. So top left-hand corner, you're gonna click that little icon, and you're going to then choose videos from the menu list, and you're gonna click confirm. Once you've done that, it's going to bring up all the videos for your search term. Then you can start looking and seeing what other people have created. One thing that you wanna pay attention to are any video pins that you see that have a lot of reactions and comments. That's gonna tell you if a video pin actually did really well for that creator. So let's talk about the purpose of each pin and how you're going to incorporate that into your strategy. So static pins are really for all engagement, all of it, and traffic and sales, like it's for everything. You are always going to lean in on static pins for everything that you create and promote on Pinterest. Video pins are really good for engagement, including saves, but they're not always the best for driving traffic, and I've talked about that in previous videos. However, Pinterest did make an update in 2023 where there is a visit button and a save button right underneath a video. So if someone is watching your video, it is a lot easier to figure out how to leave Pinterest and go to your website. These are also good for traffic, but like I said, they're not as great for traffic. So always have standard or static pins for your traffic pins. Number 3 is the infographic pins. This format of pin is really great for information. You can make this format into a video or a static pin, it doesn't matter. You can also make it for sales. You could make it for content. Most people actually make them for content. Infographic pins are excellent for engagement and saves. All of these pins can generate saves. Each one has its place in your Pinterest strategy. The third component to your Pinterest marketing strategy is your scheduling. The more consistently you can actually push pins out to the platform, the better you are going to do. Now, it is true that people, including myself, have utilized Pinterest to drive traffic over a short amount of time, or Pinterest for their strategy over a short amount of time, and then they've left it alone. And Pinterest has continued over the years to send traffic to their domains. That is true. You will perform better if you are consistent. Now, the great part about using a Pinterest strategy is that it doesn't require you to have hair and makeup done. You don't have to have clothes on if you don't want to. You can literally just behind your laptop be cranking out Pinterest pins, titles, and descriptions, and pushing traffic to your website without ever having to do all of this. That is one of the reasons why I love parking my content on Pinterest. Now, the key to doing the scheduling workflow is to actually do it quickly. That way you're not bogged down in all of that back-end admin type stuff. So as you are creating and scheduling pins on Pinterest, you can just use the native Pinterest scheduler. You don't actually need to pay for a scheduler until you're ready. Now, right on Pinterest, you can see where I'm uploading a Pinterest pin and I'm placing the pin title as well as the pin description. You get 500 characters for your pin description, 100 characters for your pin title, and then you want to put your link in there, and from that point on, you can either publish now or you can schedule for later. So scheduling really is the most simple part of this whole process. The one thing you want to remember about scheduling your Pinterest pins is making sure that you schedule to your most relevant board first. Now, what I mean by that is if you are creating a Pinterest pin on spaghetti, you don't want to put that Pinterest pin on your pot roast board. Those two things are not the same. So you wouldn't put leather pants on a board about blue jeans because they're not the same product. Pinterest relevancy is really looking for highly relevant keywords on your topic. And when you write your pin titles and descriptions, you're going to use those keywords from your keyword strategy. I promise we're getting to keyword strategy. And then you are going to be indexed for those keywords. So you really want to make sure that you do your due diligence with this part. Speaking of keyword strategy, why not just go ahead and make it the fourth pillar of our Pinterest strategy for now? Your Pinterest keyword strategy can glean insights from your Google keyword strategy, as well as your Etsy keyword strategy if you're using Etsy SEO. If you don't know where to start on Pinterest for keywords, always start with what you know first. Now, there are a few different keyword types that you are going to want to use on the platform, including problem-aware and solution-aware keywords. So those are like awareness keywords are problem-aware, and then solution-aware are your product-based keywords. And then any brand that you want to rank for all the time. So I have branded keywords that I want to rank for all the time, like how to use Pinterest for traffic. That is a keyword that I will use all the time for any of my Pinterest strategy pins, and I am more likely to show up in search for those. Now, one thing that you should know is that Pinterest SEO is not like Google SEO. Google SEO, you could actually cannibalize your keywords on your website if you use the same keyword in too many blog posts or pages. That is not the case for Pinterest. You can use the same keyword over and over as long as that keyword is relevant to your Pinterest pin and the content of the pin. You can use it again and again, and I actually would encourage you to do so. So, like I mentioned, you want to do the solution aware and product aware or problem aware type keywords. I've actually created a full Pinterest SEO masterclass that you can go and watch if you would like to understand how to develop and create your own keyword strategy. Now, the fifth and final component of your Pinterest strategy are your analytics. You do need to know how to look at and understand your Pinterest analytics. I recently published a video on how to find your Pinterest data inside Google Analytics 4, so that will be linked for you in the description down below, and you can definitely go check that out. But you definitely have to be able to look at and understand your Pinterest analytics. Now, a word to the wise, don't look at your Pinterest analytics if you are brand new to Pinterest for the first 90 days. There's not going to be anything there, and you're more likely to get distracted by them than they are to help you with your strategy. Just be consistent in the first 90 days with using keywords, making Pinterest pins, getting the right boards for your Pinterest strategy created, getting your keyword list expanded into new territories. So I don't want you to look at your Pinterest analytics if you are brand new to Pinterest for the first 90 days, because I'd rather you stay consistent on the platform than get bombarded and saddened by what you aren't finding there. Okay, as promised, let's talk about what an optimized profile actually looks like. So the very first thing that you need to think about with an optimized Pinterest profile are your boards. You also want to include board covers. So board covers are basically a Pinterest pin that you are going to create and link to your website that is then going to be applied in the settings of the board as the cover. It's going to help your boards on your profile be easy to skim. Now, an optimized board is obviously the Pinterest title, the board title, and the description is fully filled out. Now, the overall part of the profile that becomes optimized is your display name, your bio, and your banner. These three sections are at the very top of your Pinterest profile when someone lands there, and you really do want to use every single part to fully identify who you are and how you help your ideal audience. The next part of a fully optimized profile is claiming your domain. You can actually see here myheatherfarris.com. Just to the left of it is a little circle with a world thing and a check mark. That is how you know that a profile is claimed. Now, if you are a verified merchant, that is not going to show on the front of your profile. Instead, it's just going to be the blue check mark and your profile is claimed. If you are e-commerce, then you are going to want to ingest your catalogs. You can do that with various different plugins for Shopify, WooCommerce, Squarespace, you name it. That is part of having an optimized profile if you're e-com. All right, moving on. So as part of your Pinterest strategy, you are going to want to create content consistently that is based on not only evergreen content and search terms that you want to rank for, but also based on Pinterest trends. So within Pinterest trends, if you hop over there, so it's trends.pinterest.com, or if you go to the menu, somewhere in the menu is a trends little name, and you're gonna click that and you're gonna see this tool. Within that tool, you can search for things at the top, or you can use the filters down at the bottom. Now, as you start to find trends in this tool, these are actually two things that you want to be aware of. These trends are keywords that you can use in all the places, and they are also topics that you can create content on. So as you are filtering through all of the different trends filters and you are searching for things in Pinterest trends, just keep that top of mind. Now, I would rather you create your content consistently for Pinterest and be consistent on Pinterest in a very specific way. Okay, so I would rather you, if you came to me and you're like, hey, can I pin 20 pins a day? Because this is a very common question I get. So I know I'm gonna get it in the comments of this video. How many times can I pin a day? And how many times can I pin to the same URL? Well, short answer is there are no hard and fast rules. I don't care who tells you that there are rules for this. There really aren't. You do want to stay within some best practices for yourself and for the platform, and that's to not be spammy. So I would rather you create consistently, 3 pins a day, for example, than 30 pins. I would rather you have really high quality content and fewer images than a lot of really low quality content and more images. Now, to answer the other two questions, how many times can I pin to the same URL? I generally will spread them out by a week. So I'll do the same URL, I'll make 4 pins, and I'll have 1 pin going out per week. You could do that per day if you wanted to. So if you wanted to send 1 URL out per day and it's the same URL, and you do 4 different pins and 4 different days, that's okay too. I just want you to ask yourself, would I consider this to be spammy? Now, I know my answer to what is spam on Pinterest and your answer are probably different. So let's go with the general consensus of pin the same URL once a day minimum. If that's the flow you want to follow, try not to do it 10 times or more a day. Okay? Don't do it. I promise you, you will get flagged for spam. Now, How many times can I pin the same image? Within the same vein of creating consistently, don't worry about creating one image and pinning it 10 times. I would rather you create 10 images and pin them one time. You're going to spread your net a lot further, a lot wider, and you're going to be able to use a lot of different keyword SEO or keywords for those pins and get found. So let's not worry as much about pinning the same pin over and over and over. One thing that is bringing to the forefront the capability of creating high quality content in less time are things like the Canva bulk creation feature. I recently created a video on this as well, teaching you how to use the bulk create feature. There are so many different ways that you can go about this. I might even create a future video on it, but for now, you can go and watch that video and see how I create high quality content in less time with less work. Now, a few updates to the Pinterest marketing strategy outlook that I want you to keep top of mind. Number one is Pinterest trends. You always want to be aware of what Pinterest trends are happening and how you can fit those into your overall content strategy on Pinterest. Number two is using keywords consistently, and number three is using more video. These three things in 2023 really help to propel more of my new clients to success a lot faster. Another new update that happened in 2023 that is going to be going forward into 2024 is the product tagging feature. So once upon a time we had idea pins. I don't know if any of you remember those or not, but you could tag products in your idea pins and monetize them. Because idea pins didn't have links, this was a way that we could get around that. Okay, so with all of the different pin types being married into one pin builder in 2023, as of May of 2023, in fact, when they got rid of idea pins and they started really filtering those out of the majority of people's builders, we have the ability to add product tags to static images now. So what I'm going to show you just briefly is adding product tags to static images and what that looks like. Now you should be aware that you can only add product tags on mobile. So when you upload a Pinterest pin to Pinterest and you link it to your store or your website, you can do that on desktop and you can link it directly where you want it to go. Alternatively, you can also monetize with those products and link them to your store, and you can use affiliate links. So you're simply just going to add links into your pin builder where it says add a link, or if you upload a video, you're gonna have to click the sticker icon and then click the product sticker. So as you are looking at the screen right now, I'm showing you exactly what the video builder looks like. So it's gonna bring that up and you're gonna have to choose from that menu at the bottom, and you're gonna have to click stickers and then product sticker, and it's gonna bring up the same page as what it looks like on the static pin version. Do not worry about product tagging if it is not something that you do not have the time to do. Product tagging is intense. There is so much time and energy and effort going into creating content and getting it on this little device and then getting all the content in there. And because it's siloed to mobile only, I don't want you to worry about wasting a ton of time doing product tagging if you don't have that time to waste. Now, we haven't talked about board strategy so far in the video, so I did want to briefly touch on it for you in the updates section. Now, there's really not a lot of updates that happened to Pinterest boards this year. In fact, they took away the notes feature that used to be available on Pinterest boards. However, I wanted to mention to you that I created a full-length masterclass on creating a Pinterest board strategy. Now, your Pinterest boards are by far probably the second most important thing out of your entire Pinterest marketing strategy. So you do want to spend some time on this, which is why I wanted to mention it and let you know that I created a full video for you. It's about 15 minutes long. It is primarily talking about e-commerce Pinterest board strategies, but the same exact content applies to service providers, content creators, mommy bloggers, food bloggers, you name it, the same concepts apply. I briefly want to tell you that your Pinterest monthly views, no matter how many of those YouTube videos that you see, that's like how I got 10 million monthly views, how I got 30 million monthly views, your monthly views are not an indicator of how well your Pinterest account is doing. In fact, I have had clients in the past who have had millions of monthly views and only a few thousand page views. I've talked about that in depth on this Pinterest or on this YouTube channel, and I just want you to know that your Pinterest views are not an indicator of your success. So you should not be looking at your competitors in that way either. Now, that's not to say that your views are not important. They do obviously tell us if people are seeing our pins. It is the first line of defense when we are looking at our analytics to determine if people are seeing our content or not, and what to change beyond that. So Pinterest is a really great platform if you want to show up for your audience in the moment that they're searching for you. Whether they're looking for, how to wear leather pants all the way down to the leather pants that you sell in your store. However, it is not one of those platforms that you can just go to your website and mass pin everything on it and hope for the best. We are not spraying and praying on Pinterest. It is definitely a platform where you want to have some intentionality. And with today's video, I've laid out all of the aspects of a Pinterest marketing strategy and what's important for each part. Would it be helpful to even have access to monthly deep dives where we talk about one topic really in depth and you have accountability and support to get that thing done? Like creating your first lead magnet or creating your first digital product, which we already have monthly deep dives on. What would it mean to you to fast track your Pinterest traffic and sales so you can start doing the things you love in your business more and doing the marketing things you hate less? If that would mean to you, if any of those things resonate with you in a way that it's meaningful, I would like to invite you to Pin Profit Academy. It is my one-to-many membership where you get access to me every single week. I look at anything that you are working on that you really need help with, answer your questions, and support you in your marketing journey to show up on Pinterest and in other places in a way that's sustainable and makes sense for your business. We have had over 500 people join this membership in 2.5 years. And I would love for you to be one of them. It starts at the low cost of $37 a month. That is obviously subject to change at any time, but it's been that price since I launched it. I also have a quarterly option of $97 and a yearly option of $370. Now, if you get on my email list, you will also get an offer for this. This membership is open all the time. This is not something that I open and close cart on because I want people to be able to join when they need it and leave when they don't. We don't hold you hostage. You get the support that you need and you have the accountability in the community to back you up. So if Pin Profit Academy sounds like something you want to join, I want to invite you to come over. pinprofitacademy.com. That's it for this video. Thank you so much.